We think of our homes as these incredibly safe places, our little sanctuaries. But what if I told you that right under your feet, inside your very walls, there's a silent battle going on? Yeah, your plumbing isn't just sitting there. It's under this constant, invisible assault from the world right outside. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on these hidden threats and give you the playbook to fight back. All right, let's just jump right in with a question that I admit sounds a little random. What on earth could the dirt your house is sitting on have in common with a bone-chilling Minnesota winter? I mean, they're totally different forces of nature, right? Well, here it is. They are two of the biggest, most relentless enemies of your home's plumbing system. They're like this tag team, working together year after year, slowly but surely trying to weaken the pipes that keep your home running. It's basically a slow-motion siege happening 24/7. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by looking at a specific plumbing battlefield, let's say a place like Burnsville. Then we'll talk about the warning signs when your pipes are literally crying for help. After that, we'll cover why a pro makes all the difference, what to expect when you actually make that call, and we'll finish up with how you can prevent these disasters in the first place. Okay, Section 1, the battlefield. You might think the biggest plumbing risks are, something happening inside, like your kid flushing a toy car. But the reality is, the most damaging and expensive problems usually start from the outside and work their way in. Let's get specific, because this is where it gets real. In a place with tough winters, you've got this brutal freeze-thaw cycle that's just hammering your pipes day in, day out. Then there's the clay soil, which swells up and shrinks, literally putting a squeeze on your underground lines. Tack on the sub-zero temps that freeze everything solid and the hard water that clogs your pipes like cholesterol in an artery. And to top it all off, you get these massive rainstorms that can flood the city sewers and send all that nasty stuff right back into your basement. It's a perfect storm of problems. So all that nonstop pressure, it has consequences. And this is where we get into how that quiet, hidden decay that's been happening for years can suddenly erupt into a massive, wallet-draining catastrophe that you just can't ignore. For a huge number of homes, especially if yours was built somewhere between the 60s and the 90s, the number one weak point is the galvanized steel pipes. From the outside, they look perfectly fine, all solid and metallic. But on the inside, oh boy, a completely different and much rustier story is unfolding. And check this out. This timeline really shows you how it's a slow-motion disaster. So a brand new pipe goes in back in the 70s. By the 90s, it's already starting to corrode from the inside out. Fast forward to the 2010s, and you're starting to notice, hey, the shower pressure isn't what it used to be. And today, well, that pipe is basically on life support, just waiting for the day it gives up completely. And all those vulnerabilities we talked about, they lead to some very predictable emergencies. That freeze-thaw cycle, that's what causes pipes to burst in the dead of winter. The heavy spring rains and thirsty tree roots, bam, sewer backups. Your sump pump, your basement's last line of defense, it often gives out under that exact same spring pressure. And of course, there's just plain old age, which turns every water heater into a ticking time bomb. And let's put a hard number on that water heater issue. Your typical unit is really only designed to last about 10 to 15 years. After that, the corrosion on the inside can cause the tank to split open, instantly dumping somewhere between 40 and 80 gallons of water all over your floor. The takeaway here is crucial. It's really not a matter of if it will fail, but when. Okay, enough doom and gloom. We've laid out the problems, now let's talk solutions. And this is where you see the massive difference between what you can do with a wrench from the hardware store and what a true expert with the right gear can actually accomplish. Let's take drain cleaning, for example. You can go rent a snake, but you might just be poking a small hole in the clog. Or worse, you could actually damage an old, fragile pipe. But professional hydrojetting, that's a whole different ballgame. It's like a power washer for the inside of your pipes. It scours the entire pipe clean of grease, sludge, even tree roots. And the best part, they can stick a camera in there to prove it's spotless. And that really gets to the heart of the pro's advantage. It's the technology. They have cameras that can see problems buried underground, electronic gear that can hear a pinhole leak inside a wall. They even have ways to repair pipes without digging up your entire lawn. These aren't just tools, they're basically plumbing superpowers. And wrapping all of this up is something called the Minnesota Plumbing Code. Now, this isn't just bureaucratic red tape. Think of it as a set of rules designed specifically to protect your health, your safety, and the value of your home. It makes sure any work that's done is done right, and it requires permits and inspections to prove it. So, you know you need a pro, but let's be real, making that call can be stressful. You worry about hidden costs and what's going to happen.
So let's pull back the curtain and demystify what a professional, no-nonsense service call should actually feel like. Look, it should be dead simple. It all boils down to 3 easy steps. 1, you call, they dispatch a licensed technician. 2, and this is the most important part, the tech figures out the real problem, not just the symptom, and gives you a firm price before they even think about picking up a tool. And only once you say yes do they move to step 3. They do the repair and they stand behind their work with a guarantee. The whole point is to have 0 surprises. And this right here is the golden rule. It puts you, the homeowner, completely in control. The whole idea of upfront pricing means you know exactly what you're getting into. And hey, if a surprise pops up, which can happen in old houses, everything stops. They explain the new situation, and nothing happens until you give the green light. You are never, ever in the dark.
All right, let's get to our final section, and this is all about empowerment. Now that we know the threats and we know the solutions, we can put together a simple playbook so you can be a proactive homeowner and stop these disasters before they even start. So let's kick things off with a big one, the question every Minnesotan asks. How in the world do you stop your pipes from freezing and bursting when the temperature drops to insane levels? Here's your winter survival checklist. Super simple. Keep your heat at 55 degrees minimum, even if you're away. Open up the cabinet doors under your sinks to let warm air get to the pipes. When it gets crazy cold, let a faucet drip just a tiny bit. Insulate any pipe you can get to in a cold space, like a garage or crawl space. And the big one, disconnect and drain your outdoor hoses before the first frost. Do not forget that one. Okay, on to the next all-too-common disaster. This snow melts, the spring rain starts, and boom, you've got a swimming pool in your basement. Why does this seem to happen every single year? Well, the water is staging a multi-front attack on your house. From below, your sump pump might just be overwhelmed or feeling. From the side, your own yard could be sloped the wrong way, funneling water right at your foundation. And from above, clogged gutters can dump an unbelievable amount of water right next to the house, where it will find every single tiny crack to sneak through. It's coming at you from all directions. Which brings us to the unsung hero of your basement, the sump pump. Taking care of it is non-negotiable. You should give it a quick check yourself a couple of times a year, have a pro give it a good look annually, and just plan on replacing the whole thing every 7 to 10 years before it gets a chance to fail on the rainiest date of the year. So, we'll end with this thought for you to take home. After everything we've just talked about, from the dirt outside to the corrosion inside your pipes, what's the one part of your home's plumbing that you've been kinda ignoring? And more importantly, what story is it trying to tell you right now about its age or the stress it's under?